hello, my silky friends. Yeah, I know. I'm way before when I announced, so I know some people aren't here yet. But look, I have not done a live in a couple of weeks, and I just miss y'all so much. I couldn't wait. I'm like, I've got my coffee, I've, you know, I've got my earrings, my lighting is set, and I've got everything pulled up. I just couldn't wait. Hello, streets of Bakersfield. Good to see ya. Um, yeah, so I just couldn't wait. So I know some people will be joining later, and that's okay. And I have a lot on the replay crew. So hello to you, replay crew. If you are new here, I'm Silky. This is Silky Southern Tea. We talk about a lot of stuff. Heavy on the Delphi case, but cover other cases and headlines and news that you might want to know. Or maybe you just need to fill an empty space in your head that you've recently decluttered, and like now you've got this space and you're like, I need to have some useless stuff. It's not really useless, okay? It's horrifying. But maybe you just have some extra brain space and you need something else to think about to break up your day. I'm here for ya. I am here for you. I want to add some more clutter. All right? Another wrinkle to the brain. Um, hello. It's a new day. Hey there. It's a new day. I got a message from somebody who referenced one of your videos, and I didn't want to play it because I don't want, copyright and all that kind of stuff. Very interesting stuff. So I'm going to tell y'all, if you are into the Delphi case, you need to go and you need to go look at It's a New Day and some of the stuff that they've been coming up with. And It's a New Day, if you want to drop your link in the chat, I don't mind at all. Y'all know I am not competitive. I just, you'd have to be a real slime ball. And there are some of you. Actually, somebody commented on one of my videos a day or so ago. I screenshotted it. Yeah, you're a slime ball. And no, you cannot put your link to your channel in there, but decent folks can. All right. We don't even have to agree on everything. I want to, I love to help. This is a hard job, y'all. Being a creator, especially in the Delphi community, like, look, unless you're just a complete butthead, I'm going to promote you. Okay. So, yeah, so check out It's a New Day, please. Streets of, oh, wait. Oh, yeah, you said somebody in the chat brought up the name of the creator I was talking about. Not directed at me, but there you go. My gosh, let me make this bigger. I can't see squat this morning. Y'all, the pollen around here in Alabama is insane right now. Yeah. Yep. Hello, Carol. How are you? Good to see you. Aquarius Yaya, good to see you too. Just Robin, hello. Rebecca Ann, good to see you. Did I miss anybody? Oh, Nancy Drew, how did I miss you? Like, y'all. But yeah, it is the pollen. If y'all live in the South, or I don't know, maybe it does it in other places, but the pollen in the South, it's like a beast. You wash your car and, you park it at Walmart for an hour and you've got a new car color. It's green. It's like baby puke green. So, yeah. So good to see y'all this morning. I am not going to be talking about Delphi this morning, but I am planning a show, either tonight or tomorrow night. Prof and I have been talking some. I haven't talked to Lowlight in, I don't know, a hot minute. So I'm going to get with him and see if he wants to talk Delphi. If not, there's some things that I want to bring up. And if it's too bad, I'll just do a members only. Okay. But there, yeah. So, I hope you've got your coffee. Oh, here's Sachi. She loves the attention. So yeah, you're probably gonna have a cat tail in the video or in the live stream today. She uh she thinks I'm doing my ghost channel because that's when I record for my ghost channel, she like in the last month, she cannot stay away. So she probably doesn't know this is not the spooky channel, but hey, uh say good morning to Sachi. Well, I try to see both the monitor and your comments. Um, I love my baby. She is a rescue, and I like look. She's priceless. I love her. All right, so I wanted to share something funny with you. I just saw this on Facebook, and I'm not a big Facebooker. I used to be, but I just thought this was so funny. And I think this should be the new standard. Okay, this isn't the news really, but this does come from Alabama. And this is a place called Tigers for Tomorrow. Okay, and from what I understand, I have never been there, but from what I understand, they rescue maybe bigger animals that may have, I don't know if they're why they don't have homes, but something happened, I don't know. Maybe they got some from Joe Exotic, who knows? But they've got some interesting things and they do let people tour. So this came up on my Facebook feed and I thought this was so cute. Now this is I'm hoping I'm saying this right. This is a it's a big cat is what it is. It's bigger than you, Saj. Actually, you're kind of tiny. She's very petite. Um, Let me go there. But this is pretty interesting. Let me play this for you. Hear those little grunts? I don't know if you can hear them. Okay, now what's interesting about her, this Serval's name is Silky. And I saw this, it came up on my feed. And I'm like, what? Okay, so I went to look at now you think that she's being aggressive, and that's what I thought. But no, they can't meow. Like all they can do is like kind of hiss. And it can mean things like, "Hey, I'm over here," or "What do you have for me today?" And this is speaking Serval in hisses. And so I got to thinking, you know what? I think I could adopt that lifestyle. Like, why is it not just acceptable for us to hiss at people? I mean, I kind of do sometimes. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, I just thought that's great. I bet she's very unstressed. Just anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me look at some of your comments. Anyway, that's not really the news. That's just your cuteness for today. So, Silky and I have. Wait, let me do it this way. Wait, where's my hand? Okay. Silky and I share the same attitude, I think. Anyway, let's go on. That was just for fun. I came across a news article, y'all. And I believe this is the New York Post, if I'm not mistaken. I've got it in read form, so it doesn't have the headline up there. But I want to get y'all's thoughts on this. Well, I can't even. I can't. There's like so many things today that we're going to talk about. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about this. Um, Sachi's right down here. Okay, babes. Look, I got to get to my mouse. All right. Let me find this. Okay, let me see if I can make this a little bit. Can y'all see that? I don't know. Let me see if I can make it a little bit. What just happened? Okay, that's weird. Okay. I'd really like to take this off here, but I can't seem to. Anyway, wait. No. That will be my second one. Okay, this will be my first one. Let me change this a little bit for y'all so you can see it. Y'all, I don't know if you saw this headline. This is from the Daily News. So let's go there. All right. I'm not going to be able to see you for just a minute. Okay, it says New Jersey police. Look, I don't even know what I can say on YouTube. New Jersey police chief accused of, let's just say, defecating by desk. This is the police chief. Defecating by desks, spiking coffee with Viagra. Y'all. Okay, so this is an actual picture. This is the police chief at work. Okay. He is shaving. If you can't see this, he is shaving himself. What the heck? Shaving his arms, and I look at on somebody else's desk, I guess. I don't know. But here's the story. You can't this came out on March 27th. Y'all, you cannot make this stuff up. And it further helps to remind me what is wrong with people? Like, seriously. No, I'm not even kidding. What is wrong with people? Like, you have to wonder, are they putting, additives? Which I know they're putting additives in our foods, but like, is it really like crazy pills? I don't know. So, this is, let me put my glasses on for just a second. I still can't see it. North Bergen Police Chief, let me go back up here. Robert Farley, without a shirt, appears to shave his arm on a police officer's desk. This is in the New Jersey Superior Court. What? All right, so let's go here. A New Jersey police chief is accused of defecating by desks, spiking others' coffee with Viagra, and other harassment. Now, he was sworn in as chief in February of 2024, and he is the subject of a complaint by 5 officers who are planning to sue the township for Farley's alleged retaliation, discrimination, misconduct, and harassment. The complaint alleges, y'all. The complaint alleges a hostile workplace. Now, I want to just tell you something. If you've ever I've had hostile workplaces before. As a matter of fact, some have been so hostile that I have looked up Alabama laws to see what constitutes this, what goes into this. And, a lot of them can be very subtle. Like, you honestly, you look it up and it's like, well, is this happening? Yes, I feel like it is. But hostile does not even begin to explain this. Okay. So it included juvenile pranks like putting firecrackers under chairs. I'm just going to tell you, first of all, if you put a firecracker under my chair and it goes off, like, I don't know, and it just goes off, I'm going to pee myself. Yeah, I'm going to have to go home because I am going to wet on the whole chair. Like, probably, I'm just saying. And I hope that is, covered by my paid time off. Actually, I think it should be a company paid thing. I'm sorry, y'all. I would move her, but it won't last. So, all right. There we go. Oh, well, she is grooming her behind, so I think we're good for a minute. Okay. I probably shouldn't have said that, but Okay, putting firecrackers under chairs to acts bordering on criminal-like dosing the office coffee with drugs like Viagra and Adderall. Okay, I can't even say this part y'all can read it. Okay, so you've got Viagra, Adderall, spiked coffee, and then he took a needle and jabbed it into a fellow officer's hoo ha, okay, drawing blood. I, I don't know where did he get a needle? I have a lot of questions about that needle as well. So Michael Darren, a special captain with administrative duties, claims that Farley chased him around the office and cornered him before placing that needle through his jeans into the tip of his stuff. Okay, I don't know how to say this. Like, drawing blood. Darren claims Farley would also shave and put his body hair on people and their food. Well, we can clearly see there's a picture of him shaving on somebody's desk. So you're gonna okay. Did they not know that this man was insane? I mean, when he was placed in, I've got questions. How long was this guy in the police department? How you? I, I, there are no words. Just honestly, there are no words. Okay, so the officer Rashid Siam claims Farley retaliated against him when he became a whistleblower in a hostile work environment claim when another officer called him racial slurs. Officer Christopher Bowen claims he was punished with a shift change after missing arrest and traffic ticket quotas. Okay, you know what? I look, a punishment with shift change and, all this kind of stuff. This is like nothing compared to what the chief is doing. Like, I'd rather take a shift change than have somebody stick a needle in my body parts. Just saying. Or shave their hair into my food. There are worse things. And when you think about how bad your boss is, and I have no complaints. I have a great boss, okay? No complaints here. But when you are sitting around complaining about your boss, I mean, remember this, because this is insanity. All right, so the complainant said the abusive behavior began as soon as Farley, here's the answer, a 26-year veteran of the department whose father and grandfather were deputy chiefs, was appointed the top job. So you have been an officer. Your grandfather, your father, like you've got a legacy going on here. You've had 26 years in the department. In that time, did no one know that you were insane? Well, I'm sorry. Oh, she's got a cough. It must be a hairball. Look, no, not on my desk. All right. I don't know if you can hear her coughing. Is it the pollen? Is it the pollen, baby? All right. 26 years. A state investigation is also underway after Farley was reported to the Attorney General. Okay. All right. 26 years. So let me go back to your comments, okay? Let me see what you're saying, because I really don't know what to say. Yeah. Hello, Asha. I love that name. Let me tell you something. I had a dog I named Asha. No, that sounds bad. I mean, she was beautiful. She was a wolf hybrid. She got stolen. I loved that dog, and I wanted her to have the prettiest name. And that is why I chose Asha. I thought that was great. Yeah. Roberta. Hello, Roberta. Don't they have to have a psychological eval, pass a psychological eval before being hired? You would think so. You would think so. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I have no words for this. If you have, okay, like, raise your hands. Just put a little hand or a something in the comments. If you have a bad boss, have ever had a bad boss, you currently have a bad boss. So, like, look, if your boss sees that, it could be past, like, whatever. I mean, if you've ever had somebody that you thought was crazy, I mean, I had like long, long, long time ago, I had a little bit, I really did think she was a little bit insane. Um, I had what I thought was a really bad boss. Since then, I have had way more. Um, but has anybody ever experienced or witnessed this type of behavior in management? I mean, I'm just thinking there are levels, you know? You don't like your boss, they do some weird stuff, they're not fair, they have favorites, um, you know, all those kind of things, even slurs or, little digs in you at the meeting, they can constitute a hostile work environment. But this, I don't know what's going on in New Jersey. Like, is there something loose? Is there like, insanity virus? We saw all the drones, but this happened before that. So since last February, this guy's going around doing this. Can you imagine? Like, what? Okay, you tell me. What are you gonna do if you are sitting at your desk, minding your own business? You're just doing your work, and your boss comes by and takes a poo right there. Like, are you serious? I don't even know what I do. I honestly, I probably just get my purse and leave. Like, deuces, I'm out. you know. I just like, somebody give me some idea in the comments. Tell me what do you think about this? Have you ever had a boss that's this bad? Maybe I should, if you're on the replay, tell me your bad boss stories. I would love to hear them because this is insane. Um, yeah. uh, Roberta says I've had horrible bosses and some seem psycho, but never like this guy. Yeah, yeah, never like this guy. I don't know. And we're talking about police. So, as we're talking about police, this is your law enforcement to protect and serve. Adderall and Viagra. There is nothing in my coffee but hazelnut creamer. Uh, but yeah, it's insanity, y'all. Insanity. So, it makes me wonder, why did this guy think that he could pull these shenanigans at work? And is this normal for the police in New Jersey? And what are the police doing somewhere else? Like, if the police in New Jersey are this unhinged, I have to wonder. Sorry, I'm out of focus. I have to wonder about Indiana. What the heck? Y'all Delphi people, can you imagine? Like, what if they're just sitting in the office and, old Jer, he just comes by and takes a poo beside the desk or in the corner, maybe in the garbage can. Like, look, we're going to throw this out anyway. Like, I mean, like, can you imagine? These are real people doing this crazy stuff. Um, so I don't know. That's just my brain. Like, that's the way my brain works. I don't know the people in New Jersey, but I'm like filtering through Delphi. Huh. Wonder if, old Slick Nick ever threw some stuff in the coffee. Look, this is just hypothetical, all right? This is not an accusation or allegedly or anything, okay? This is just me thinking. Welcome to my brain. It's scary in here. Hello, Linda Kay. It's okay. I can't look. I've got a big screen, and you would think that it would make me see things better, but it doesn't. It spreads it out, and I can't see your comments as well. Linda K, I just woke up. It's 4:30 a.m. Oh, real? Oh, yeah. For where you are, yeah. It was 10:30 here when I started. Well, it was early. Hello, Life with Shannon. Hello, how are ya? Okay, so there you go. There's one. Now we're gonna get into some worse. Now, it's one thing for an adult to uh behave like this. All right. Shocking, horrible, insane. But what happens and how would you feel about this? Now, this one is not from the US. This is Australia, I think. Okay. Let me pull this up. This is the one I started to do first. Let me see what it looks like to y'all. Okay. I can't get this thing off there. I don't know. But I believe this is from the New York Post. So this is talking about this is Australia. This is talking about a high school teacher who is a furry. I assume all of y'all by now know what a furry is. And look, people do in their own households. I don't want to know. I just don't, okay? But this is not in the household. This is in high school. All right? So look at this. Parents have expressed their concern at a Queensland high school teacher who has reportedly been referring to themselves as a cat. I know, Sachi. I know. Like I'm sure you're disturbed too. I look. Allegedly hissing at students and licking the back of their hands during class. Okay, I thought when I first read this, I thought they were like the teacher was licking their hand, like their own hand. But this one, are you licking your students' hands? I don't know. Okay, let's read on. The teacher who works at Marsden State High School in Logan City, south of Brisbane, has reportedly asked students to call her Miss Purr. Multiple parents have claimed on social media. Now I understand if you're going as a Halloween costume, you're Miss Purr, whatever. You can role play for a night, role play at home. I don't care. But and these are high school students because I even thought it's weird, and I'm not okay with it. But if you were like teaching some elementary school students and you had everybody be a character for a day, like maybe from a book or something, and where you're like, okay, today I'm Miss Purr, and you got the little ears, and I'm gonna be a cat all day, and every student could role play a princess or a fairy or whatever. That would be fine. But this is not that, and these are high school students. I want to tell you something. I think all of my kids had better sense than to like even deal with somebody like that. But I don't know. Again, where is the line? Okay, that's my question. Where is the line? I don't think in most professions. I certainly know at my job, if I came in and announced I was a cat, um, I would be terminated, especially if I wanted to lick my hands or use a litter box or anything at work. Okay. Again, do what you want to do in your own home. I don't want to know about it. All right. I just don't. You do you, boo. At home. Okay. All right. But it says photos and short videos first published by the Courier Mail show the teacher wearing a cat ear headband, that's no big deal, and lanyard with the word purr on in front of a classroom. Okay. She forces the children to call her Miss Purr, and cat screeches and growls when they don't listen. One relative alleged in comments on Facebook. So the face has been blocked out, but here's Miss Purr. You can see, the ears. You can see the little lanyard here and the purr. So you know what to call her. Whatever. All right. She sits in class and licks her hands. It's absolutely disgusting. Something needs to be done about this. Yeah. I mean, am I just totally wrong here? Because again, while I myself do not live a furry lifestyle. I like, look, I'm old school, okay? I, I'm old school. I don't, when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, I used to pretend to be a kitty cat. My grandmother would let me lap milk out of a bowl because it was a book that I loved, and the cats had like all this jewelry. It was a really cute book. It wasn't like weird. But, I was just being a cat because I was not even in school yet. All right? I was basically a toddler. Um but again, y'all do you at home. All right. So am I just out of touch? Am I just too old? Because I don't understand why this is allowed in professions. Okay? Like, I'm a nurse and I work in the jail. Y'all know that. But what if I worked in the hospital, as I have on many occasions, many different hospital jobs through the years? And like, if your nurse walks into the room with ears and says, "Hi, I'm Nurse Purr. I'm going to be starting your IV today, but I've got to clean my hands first." Are you going to let that nurse stick a needle in your arm? Are you going to let that nurse start an IV? Because I'm going to say, nope, nope. Oh, whatever. Maybe it's just me. Okay, so the same relative told the Courier Mail she was confused by the teacher's behavior and expected the school had been inundated with complaints. Yeah, here we go again with Miss Purr. I don't know. I don't know. Um but she says, I myself would like answers. It could all be innocent, as I know of a lot of kids can be overly dramatic. Yes, the kids. You're not really a kid in high school, but whatever. On the same Facebook post, one mother alleged the teacher made her daughter purr for a lolly. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't purr. I could purr. I can purr. Not exactly like a cat, but I can make a purring sound. I mean, would I purr? Would I make a like? No. I don't know. I'm honestly so disturbed by this. Let me look at your comments because here's my question. When is this coming to the US? Now, introducing Miss Purr, your new teacher. And maybe it says high school students, but like, did she ask a high schooler to purr for a lolly? I don't know. I could see somebody doing that. I could see a student doing that. Whatever. Um, yeah. She looks male. Yeah, I don't know. I looked at that myself. I don't know. Hey, Ninja Warrior Assassin. How are you doing? I would say she's the one that's overly dramatic. Yes. Um, Roberta says, no, you're not wrong. If I wore cat ears, a tail, and called myself a cat, my daughter would say, that's cute, Mom, but you're not a cat, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, but what do y'all think? I mean, and this is just hypothetic. Um, do you feel, I don't know. I don't know how to say this because, you know, again, I feel like this are things that should be in your private life. Now, call me crazy, but some things need to be uh in the four walls of your house. I mean, because if you want to compare it really with things like OnlyFans, like there are some people. I've had some coworkers in the past. Some I know did have an OF. Um, Other ones I just highly suspect because of their behavior that they have an OF. And if it's completely private and nobody knows except your paid subscribers, look, I'm not morally, I'm out. But, for you, whatever, do what you want to do. If it's private and you have members and I don't want to know about it. Okay. I don't even want that picture in my head. But I have known coworkers to have something like that. But again, it is a part from the work environment and it is a private thing. It's only like if you know, you know. Um, but I don't think, for people to live their truth. Look, we ain't ready for that. And there is really no reason, in my opinion, in the workplace. Because if you're going to say you can do this kind of thing in the workplace, then what about all the things that people have been fired for in the past that were not nearly as bad? You know, you're going to fire somebody for doing something else, a minor infraction, but you're going to let, you know, look. I'm just saying, and I have no confidence in a police officer who comes to me, dressed as a raccoon. Like, go be a raccoon at home, sir. But don't come serving me a warrant or don't come, writing me up a speeding ticket as a raccoon. Because I am not going to take you seriously. I sit here and sometimes I look at headlines and I'm like, what is the world coming to? Honestly, I can't. I can't even. All right, let me see what you're saying. Asha says Miss Purr should work with animals like a zoo or animal shelter. I would agree, but I will tell you that I think she would want to be in the cage. I don't think. I think it would disturb her reality. Like animals, me. Animals, me. Yeah, I don't think she gets that. Ninja Warrior says, "Okay, I'm catching up. My other just catching up with her health. Um, okay, good. Yeah, let us know. So that's great. One isn't cancerous. So yay. So you're getting the treatments on the other. Okay, great. Well, that is great news. That is wonderful news. Bless your heart. Y'all, I'll say a prayer for Miss Ninja Warrior Assassin. Just show some love. Just show some love. Hey artist, how are you doing? Um Honestly, I wouldn't even trust her around animals. Yeah, me either. Me either. CJAG 1K mental health crisis. Yes, it is. You know, there's some days I know y'all all think it too. You ever have a day where you just like the universe is off? You just off, and you do stupid stuff. You lock your keys in the car, whatever. You just have one of those days where everything's just off. Um, that and I don't even know where I was going with that. What did C Jack say? Sorry, mental health crisis. Yeah, we all have our off days. We all have our off days where it's just not right. But this is the fact, in my opinion, just my opinion, okay? I don't make the laws. I should, but I don't. Um, I just, I feel like, as a society, we are even past the edge. I would say we're at the tipping point, but I think we're past the tipping point on what is okay in society, right? Um, it is a mental health crisis, and I want to tell you, we don't have enough mental health care facilities. Certainly not in my state. Our state cut back the budget so much, like we just don't have anything. Um, it's it's ridiculous, and I'm sure other states and probably countries may have that same problem. Uh, But I guess my question is it okay if they're not committing crimes? Is it okay to just let people out here be wilding? I just don't agree. I think it's dangerous for everybody. Um anyway, whew, anyway, yeah, so there you go. This is what we've got. So now we've looked at a police officer, a police chief. We've looked at a school teacher. Now, let's go to some crimes by pastors. Y'all know how I feel about this. I get so angry. So angry. We're going to look at two cases that you probably haven't heard of. If you did follow me when I was reporting on Robert Morris, he is facing actual I think he was arrested. I'm sure he's not still in jail. But yeah, he is facing time for, going to trial. I don't know if he's going to settle. I don't know what they're doing. But yes, he has been formally charged with SA of a minor. And just to let you know, also talking about pastors, let's talk about old JP Miller, because I did a video last week where they had reopened the case of Chris Skinner. And the last I heard, as of yesterday, they closed it again and said there wasn't any evidence. There was a lot of speculation that JP was the person that was supposed to meet Chris Skinner at the pool. And then the video cut off at some point. So I don't know. I have to believe this with everything coming out and the FBI investigation and all the stuff that they already know. I have to believe that JP will meet his reckoning, uh, because he also has, so they're not going this Chris Skinner route. But if you didn't know, JP has two allegations against him, two court cases of Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2, who say that he essayed them when they were minors as well. So, and these cases go back quite a few years. There's going to be, I've had a lot of attitude with some people who don't want to report on that. And I'm not going to say any names because I get real spicy, but not in a good way. So I'm going to leave that out. But yeah, I hope he's going to have his day of judgment. Yes, Linda Kay, he's a horrible person. JP and his father are very suspicious. They claim to be men of God, and then they behave as they do. Yeah. Well, if you look at their history, and I did a bunch of videos and live streams about JP and his dad and some other stuff last summer, I guess. Yeah, I kind of stopped talking about it because I really had to. Everything I had to say, I said. So really, it's just catching up with what is breaking. Let's see. I agree, Asha. JP's karma is catching up with him. Yeah. All right, so let's look at well, we'll start with one. Now this one is Canadian. Let me see what you're looking at and try to fix this. All right. Oh yeah. And I'm just going to tell you what, I'm taking liberties with this name, mostly because I don't know how to pronounce it. And the rest is I just want to pronounce it this way. Okay. Let me go all the way back up here. And this does come from the Roy's Report. All right. I was reading this before. All right. So let's look at this. This is Canadian pastor Art Luce. I don't know if it's Lucier, Lucier, Luce. You know what he's going to be? Today, he's Lucifer. That is what he is. This is Pastor Lucifer. Somebody get mad. I don't care. I don't know how do you say it correctly, but if the name fits, wear it. All right. So he is six. Let's see. No, he is not that old. That's the next one. So here is your look at Art Lucifer of the Kelowna Harvest Church in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. And I'm sorry, Canadians, if I am saying that wrong, please correct me. So he is alluding to he made mistakes along the way. I wouldn't call these mistakes, buddy. But let's go on and see what you would call them. Okay. It says that he pulled back from public ministry last weekend. However, he didn't apologize and blamed the timing of the accusations on Satan. Oh my! You didn't do anything wrong. It was all Satan. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. Let me hear your side, Pastor Lucifer. The truth is, I did sin against the Lord and against heaven many times, and even against my vows, and against my wife, and against others. Okay? The enemy, okay, you sinned, but it's the enemy is now bringing up, actually, though, these past sins, even though they're under the blood. Okay? If you're not from the Pentecostal charismatic churches and lingo, some of this is very much in because I am, and I understand what he's saying. In other words, he says, I've repented of this in the past. So it's under the blood of Jesus. That's what he's meaning by this. So basically, all right, and here is a big problem. Now, let me say, if you don't know me, I hate the word religious because I don't feel like I am. I am a Christian, all right? I am not religious, and y'all, if you know, you know, okay? And I have a lot of problem with religion. I do attend a church. I love my pastor. I love my church family. But I've been in a lot of churches, and I have great issue with them, okay? And stuff like this, I am so aware over all these years. I've been violated. Other people have been violated. Like, look, we know this happens, but there's this magic thing that the church says, and it's under the blood. That means I asked Jesus to forgive me, so it's all covered, and nobody's mentioning this. Well, the problem with that is it's unscriptural, okay? Yes. Does Jesus forgive you? Yes. Can you be in ministry? No. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a ton of videos on this last summer when we were talking about Robert Morris and some other people. No, you step down and you get out of ministry. And that is according to the Bible. If you want the scripture references, go there. So here is the problem that I have with this, because when you let predators say it's under the blood, then they keep on being predators. Do they change? No. Maybe a fraction. Because there's no reason to. They can just keep asking for forgiveness and go out and keep sinning. And we are compelled for some reason to believe that it's okay. Oh, they repented. I got to forgive him. No, you don't. You hold them accountable. Oh, I'm on a rant. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. It's been a morning. See, this is what happens when I'm not online, not in a live stream for a couple of weeks. It's just pin-up rage. I'm sorry. I can't see what you're saying right now, but let's get through this article and I'll address it. Like, look, people can believe what they want. You do you. Again, you live according to your conscience and your beliefs, and I will live through mine. I believe that the Bible very definitely says, yeah, you're forgiven. Yeah, you get out of the ministry. Get out of the ministry. Get yourself together. You're not okay. Y'all know if you listen to me. The truth is, I did sin against the Lord and against heaven many times, and against My vows and my wife. Okay, yeah, all right. Again, under the blood. So that's where we left off. Now, it says since 2018, Lucifer has been the pastor of Kelowna Harvest Church in Kelowna, a lakeside town in British Columbia, scenic Okanagan. Is that right? Okanagan Valley. Um, all right, so since 2018, so that's about what, 7 years? Am I counting? Can I count? Is he co-leads the church with his wife Heather and is HMI's financial director. Now, let's see. Is this one of their meetings? Well, it's not a huge crowd. It's decent. It's decent. Okay, so he is a worship leader, I think, as well as it says somewhere in here. If I'm not, yeah. Okay, so Lucifer told his church he won't be leaving HMI. What? 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 You're not? Okay, wait a second. You're not leaving. Like, you have already admitted to being caught in all these sins, but you are not leaving the church, but will abstain from leading worship and preaching for now. Excuse me, sir? For now? You've been doing this for all these years, cheating on your wife, doing all kind of crazy stuff. Out here just sinning, repenting, sinning again, knowing you're going to sin again. All right. But he will abstain from leading worship and preaching for now. All right. You're still going to see me around. I don't know how long I will be stepping back from this public stage ministry. Needs to be forever, buddy. These rumblings about Lucifer and his church for months, egged on by a series of episodes on the podcast Heaven Bent. Look, I don't know. I've never listened to it, but it's by Tara Jean Stevens, whose day job is a host for the Vancouver-based WAVA-FM radio. So, like, look, y'all can, and I might go and listen to some of what they're saying because, like, I literally just heard this. Okay, so starting at October 28th, a group of more than 30 people, most of them members of Lucifer's former church in Kitimat, BC, signed a letter alleging allegations of abuse, whether physical, spiritual, carnal, or emotional, that have followed him through his time in ministry. In January, more than 600 people signed an open letter on change.org calling for church oversight committee to hire a third-party investigator to investigate allegations of spiritual abuse, essay of young girls. Once again, these pastors and these young girls, and public shaming of whistleblowers. Y'all, okay, it's going to get really bad here, okay? I mean, I'll be able to talk about it, but, like, just morally, it's going to get bad. Okay, the open letter led by Lucifer's son-in-law, Salem Webb. So remember this. Salem was married to Lucifer's daughter. I know that's confusing if you're watching this back. It's just, I don't know how to say his name, and it sounds about right to me. Said that the allegations have had no viable resolution so far. He says, we've lived in silence, afraid to speak out, but recently more has come to light, and the seriousness of the aforementioned, I don't know what's wrong with me, allegations cannot be ignored any longer. Those who look to the church for community love and support should not have left in pain. I agree. Now, this is another picture of Pastor Lucifer, and this is his wife, Heather, who I have no idea, like, I'm sorry, Heather. I have no idea that she did anything wrong, okay? I don't know, but I'm guessing no, because a lot of these, here's the thing, again, you're married to this monster. Nobody believes you. I mean, and I don't know. I'm assuming she didn't know, okay? I'm assuming. But just like Micah Miller, married to JP, you know, but you can't tell anybody because nobody believes you, or bad things happen to people who do say something, right? I do not know if that is the case with her. I'm just saying Don't show any hate to his wife, Heather, because we don't know that she had anything to do with it. Okay. Let's see. He said, he told his church Sunday after this report came out that he's already repented. Yeah, well, yeah. These sins were dealt with in a biblical manner with boards and leaderships, bringing counsel and discipline in proper measure. I would say, no, they didn't. Just like with Robert Morris, if you remember, people who found out, Robert Morris was, he was a headliner. He was pulling in that money. He was charismatic. You know, the church liked him. Oh, but you've got a very bad secret sin. Oh my gosh. What are we going to do? We're going to sit you down for just like 5 minutes. And they're going to let you pastor again because you repented. Let's just ignore the scriptures that say you can't pastor again. All right. Because you are cha-ching, the money maker. You're the guy of the hour. We love you. You are so charismatic, and we can get so many donations, and I almost said damnations. I think that's probably more along the lines of what it is. Yeah, but the money is just coming in. Like, people love you. Let's just push this in the corner and tell everybody, well, yeah, it happened a long time ago, but he repented. And who are you, you evil person, to bring it up? I am the person who is giving you the biblical standards. Let's read them of what you can't do when you do something, especially when you're a kid diddler. I get so mad. And I'm sorry, I still can't see what y'all are saying. Y'all might be throwing hate at me. I don't know what you're doing. So whatever. Okay, so they're saying that they have found no substantiated or factual basis. Now, this is according to a Facebook thing. But let me tell you, this is where I say it's going to be getting very dark. Because, all right, we've heard a lot about these people, these pastors with these issues. When we get under to the abuses, we have a lady named Ruth Hurd, a former member of Lucifer's previous church at Kitimat Harvest Church, publicly stated, and this is on the Heaven Bent podcast, that Lucifer accused her of being divisive for checking his teachings with her Bible. In other words, you're getting up there just spouting crap, and she's like looking at the Bible saying, I don't think this is what the Bible's saying, sir. So now, and I've seen this happen multiple times. If the speaker doesn't like what you are saying, it's bad if you're a man. You're obliterated if you're a woman trying to say, I'm sorry, that ain't what the Bible says. I think you have it wrong. Yeah. So, she... I'm having a weirded out moment because of stuff. She has also spoken publicly about how Lucifer kissed her on the lips when he was her spiritual leader and said the committee didn't interview her. No, of course they didn't, because they didn't want to know, because they already know that there's issues. So we don't know. We don't know. We didn't see it. We didn't hear it. We don't know about it. We don't want to know about it, right? Then they asked her to enter a Matthew 18 reconciliation process with Lucifer. Yeah, let's just work it out. Y'all just talk and forgive each other, and it goes away. Again, not biblical. Okay, not biblical. But it gets worse. All right. She told this is the Roy's report, that she was 18 at the time of the kissing, and he was in his 40s when he kissed her on the lips, stunning her. She said she's seen him cuddling with other young women, many who called him daddy. Look, I really feel like I might just puke. Here is, to me, the darkest part of this whole thing. If you didn't think this was bad enough, then listen to this. Now, remember, we were talking about Salem Webb. That was Lucifer's son in law. So, Webb told the Roy's Report that he's had concerns about Lucifer ever since Lucifer blamed the 2014 death of his daughter Brittany, who was Webb's wife, on God taking his protection off her. Okay, so why? What happened? Brittany died of a lupus related brain bleed 7 weeks after she and Webb were married. So this is like they're practically still on their honeymoon. Um and she dies, but the dad, Lucifer, blamed it on Brittany herself. Okay. This is him. Look at, see, it doesn't take much to look godly, right? Close your eyes, open your hands, whatever. You don't even want to hear my thoughts on a lot of stuff. And look, just for those of y'all who wonder, I am a worshiper, but whatever. In 2022, Lucifer preached a sermon stating that the couple had renounced apostolic covering. Okay. And Lucifer's own covering in their wedding vows, which is why God allowed her to die. Okay, so what I'm taking, without having all of the details of what was said in their wedding vows and what happened from this, the way I understand it is that she must have rebelled against him in some way. She didn't want in her wedding vows, I don't know if they didn't get married in his church or if he didn't officiate, like, I don't know. But in his mind, she renounced his apostolic covering, his protection. And and it wasn't part of their wedding vows, which is why, and maybe it wasn't that, or maybe it was that she didn't say love, honor, and obey. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the vows were. But he says, and this is about your own daughter, you piece of crap. I believe the Lord did lift his hand off my daughter for her vows that she had made and for renouncing the gifts of God, the covering of myself as a father and as a sign to the church. So that makes me think that she didn't get married in the church, or she didn't let him officiate, probably because she knows stuff. Okay, so I did not read this. Okay, so Webb provided a copy of the wedding vows. So I guess that is, if you go here to the Roy's Report and see that it does not renounce anything. Now, the son-in-law says the lies were becoming more flagrant, and in the end, I decided it was important to set the record straight. So he came back basically. Oh my God. So basically, your daughter has a lupus related accident, but because she didn't follow your rules, because she didn't have you do whatever, she was rebelling against God, and God just took his protection off her and allowed her to die. Really? Because I'm thinking, what kind of piece of crap father says that about their child? Like, it's hard enough to deal with the death of a child. Like, I don't even know how you do that. But then you're going to turn it around, because if she didn't want her father involved and she didn't want his covering, it's because she knew crap about him. I know, like, she had to. So this is what he tells the church, though. Oh, she brought this on herself. God was just angry at her because of me. So he kills my daughter. What a line of crap. Y'all, I hope you don't ever believe crap like this from anybody. All right, so then we have Joe Pawlowski. Joe Pawlowski also shared his story. And this is on the survivor's Facebook page, that Lucifer told him that a 13 or 14-year-old girl had been abused by a man in the church, and that the girl had a Jezebel spirit. Now, see, that's the same thing that Robert Morris said. If you will remember, that's what he said about Cindy. Remember? She had a Jezebel spirit, and I was just, I was taken in by this Jezebel spirit. Well, I would have to say, first of all, that's crap. And second of all, if you could have been taken in by a Jezebel spirit, then you are not strong enough to be a pastor in the first place. Whatever. So they blamed, basically, there's a man in the church who essayed a 13 or 14-year-old girl. Oh, but she had a Jezebel spirit, and he had her excommunicated from the church. Like, oh, the man can stay, but you got to get out of here with your Jezebel spirit. Y'all, I can't. I can't. All right, let me go back to see what you're saying. Let me just finish this up. I've been on a roll. I know. I've been on a roll. Here I am, rolling. Rolling with the homies. All right. Let me go back to how long we've been on here. Oh yeah, we've been an hour. Hiawatha. Hey, Hiawatha. Yes, I've never understood. I can't see, BB. How people can ask for forgiveness, be forgiven, then repeat the offense thinking they're going to heaven. I would think repentance means you stop the behavior, correct? Absolutely. I mean, are people going to. Here's the thing, all right? And I think this is very true, especially of these pastoral sins. Um, let's just say, let's take another thing. Let's say you're an alcoholic, right? And you have tried and tried and you battled this thing. And so finally you are ready to come clean, right? You're ready to stop your way of life, change everything you need to. Okay. If you are an alcoholic, you don't go to a bar. You don't go to a party where you know alcohol is going to be served, right? You just don't go. You change your whole lifestyle. You don't go and put yourself in a situation where you're going to be tempted. So if you, as a pastor, know that you have a problem with thinking inappropriately about either the female members of your congregation or children, then you know what you need to do. You need to go take a job as a janitor on third shift where you're the only one in the building, and then stay home the rest of the time. Okay? Because if you don't want to be tempted, if you are having this issue, then you should not be around people, sir. Now, that is the way I feel about it, and I would say most of society would probably say you're right, at least until you get, like, some help. Get some help. Um, so that's, let's see. Sin, repent, rinse, and repeat. Yeah, that's basically what they're saying. Let's see. Let me catch up. Hey, Samantha. Pastor Lucifer is full of horse feathers. Yes, full of horse feathers. Jesus would have called him a snake and a Pharisee, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah. Look, how do people like him get a following, really? They start out charismatic, and they bring a lot to, like, people are interested, they're very engaging, whatever, they say the things that people want to hear. And then when the money comes in, or they gain popularity, people don't want that to end, and the people that know cover it up, because they're probably, and let me just tell you this, why is this so true? The preachers, y'all go back in history. Just pick somebody who has fallen and go watch some of their sermons, some of the stuff they've said for years. But you will see this almost without exception. People who preach really hard against something, whether it's SA or whether it's, the love of money or whatever it is, whatever topic they like to hammer on, is usually you find out somewhere down the road is their weakness. So what I mean is like the person who says, be faithful to your wife, and they just constantly hammer in how this is so important, which it is, okay? But let's just say they're talking about that kind of immorality, and that's like a common theme that keeps coming up in their messages. Guess what? They have a problem with temptation in that area, whether they give into it or usually they have. I mean, just go back and look, y'all. I'm like, I don't understand. And my brain doesn't work this way. I'm like, if I was having a serious problem with something, I wouldn't preach about it. I'd be like, okay, you know what? That's a slippery slope for me. I ain't going there. That's what I would say. But no, they are very condemning for the very sins they are committing. And it's insane. The way, yeah, if you don't believe me, just go look. Just go look at, pull up some news articles, and then look at their sermons, look at their books that they've written. It's insanity. Like, why would you talk about that? I don't know. I don't know. Um, let's see. You're right, Samantha. Too often the organized religions are patriarchal. 100%. I just had this discussion with somebody recently. Like, they think women don't matter to God. I'm glad I won't be in their shoes when they pass. You know what? I think y'all remember the book, The Shack? Look, that is one of my favorite books ever, ever, ever. I absolutely adore that book. But even for me, when I first read it, he gets to the shack, which is, it's not heaven, but he's meeting with God, and God is a black woman. Like, that is where the whole church falls apart. Okay, people who are religious, and I have a very close family member who I kept telling her, like, for a couple of years, you need to read this book. She's very, very versed on the scriptures and all that. I'm like, look, this book is amazing. It is amazing. It really helps you understand, certain things. And so she gets to, like, probably in the first 100 pages, and she's like, oh, I could feel the evil coming off this book. That is not of God. She's like, God is a black woman. I'm like, yeah, and what's the problem here? What is the problem here? That's sacrilegious. Whatever. I'm like, okay, don't read the book. Don't read the book. I find it hysterical that people want to put God in a box, and this isn't a religious discussion, but he's both male and female. If you don't believe me, go study. He's both male and female. And he is all of us as far as, what he could look like and who he can be, what form. Come on. I got no issues with this. But that is a lot of the stuff that we deal with. So, yeah, when you're saying that, they're the patriarchy, and I don't take issue with every, like, I'm not a man hater, okay? Not at all. But I will say this, like, I think for some people, honestly, if they got to heaven and God presented as a woman of any kind, they'd be like, okay, I'm at the wrong place. Like, can you show me where I was? Like, it's gonna be his. I hope God does that. I hope he has a sense of humor. I would love to see it. Hey, Pam Frenchman, how are you? Um, let's see. Yes, you're right, Roberta. A lot of people can't control their flesh. We'll just say it that way. Um, oh, hi, Watha. You've never seen it after listening to Kelsey and Carter. You know what? It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that book came up in the Delphi case. I would encourage you maybe to read it. It is by far, okay, wait, she just changed the setting on my computer. No. What did you do? How did you get so talented? Um, I would challenge you to dump Delphi out of your mind and when you're ready and read the book. It is amazingly healing. It's wonderful. Like I said, it was. I always keep a copy, at least one or two copies for people. Um, Look, it's yeah. I hate that ruined it. The first 80 pages, first 80, 90 pages of that book are kind of dull. I mean, it's just kind of normal. But then all of a sudden, look, it's life changing. And I don't say that about any book. I really don't. But that one is. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. I've got one more case. We're at an hour and 16 hour 16. And I have got the heat on for some unknown reason. And I am like about to start sweating bullets right now. Um it's warm out here today. All right, let me go to one more. This is another pastor. Oh look. Let's see. Let me get back off here again. This one is in let me go back to media. This one is in Pennsylvania, and we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one because we've taken a lot of time. But here is a retired Pennsylvania pastor arraigned on HT, the moving of little humans charges, okay? Like, it's bad enough that we've got pastors out here essaying people. Oh, this one takes it up a notch. Again, let me see how to say this without getting in trouble. There is another case that has been mentioned today that I highly suspect has the same elements to it, as I have said over and over for the past almost year now. So, there you go. That's a friendly thing. So, yeah, look at this guy. His name is Stephen Melton, 65. 65. Sir, are you not done with the foolishness? I guess not. 65 years old. Guess it just gives you more time to do stuff. A former Presbyterian pastor has been formally arraigned on HT charges in Cumberland County, Pennsylvania, after allegedly paying for carnal acts at a massage parlor at least 68 times. 68 times over 5 months. That's like, how many times a week are you go? Like, I don't, 65 and I don't know. 68 times. Y'all do realize that's way over 10 times a month. So let's say on average 2 or 3 times a week, he's heading to the massage parlor. How many massages you need, buddy? All right. He appeared Monday in Cumberland Court. Let's see. On charges of patronizing a victim of human movement with reckless disregard. Okay. He is the former pastor of Big Spring Presbyterian Church in Newville, Pennsylvania. The church's website indicates that a new pastor assumed the role in January. Well, let's hope he doesn't have the same pastime. Of course, the church did not comment, but let's see. He was also okay. Look, I have such trust issues. I'll just tell you. But he was also the Pennsylvania State Senate chaplain. The State Senate chaplain in 2003. He is allegedly suspected the workers might be victims themselves of being here and doing what they do without what am I trying to say? Not of their own free will, okay? Dancing around this stuff, like, it's so crazy. All right, so basically, he knows that these, and I don't know how, like, if they are foreign or if they are immigrants and that's why they suspect, because they maybe don't know who these people are or the documentation may not be correct, and that's why they think they themselves might be victims of this scheme. So it is possible. Um, Now listen, here's the church. That's, by the way, is a very cute little building. Um, Investigators observed that Melton removed his wedding ring before entering the spa. Oh, well, how nice, because God doesn't know the difference, okay? Because when you remove your wedding ring right before you do something, God just thinks you're single again. And he's just like, oh, well, no biggie. Come on. But I will tell you this, if you have to remove your wedding ring to do anything, if you are engaging in any activity, other than like working with some kind of metal or machinery that you shouldn't have, like, if you have to remove your wedding ring for any reason, then what you were doing is wrong. All right, there's no doubt. If you didn't know it was wrong, you wouldn't remove it, would you? So he confessed to paying for services rendered, explaining the parlor was conveniently located between his home and the church. Well, hey, I just left my house. I was going to the church, and I'm like, oh, look, I think I need a massage today. How convenient that it is right on the way. He also claimed to bring flowers, food, and clothing to the workers, who he suspected could be victims of trafficking. So you're going to bring them food and clothes and flowers, but you're not going to call the authorities to say, hey, I think these women are being victimized. Oh, of course not, because you're enjoying their services. Okay, so multiple times a week for over. Okay, so they've got it in here. Multiple times a week at GL Massage for over a year and paying for, pleasure. So, yeah, he's free on a $10,000 bail. Like, I have my issues as well with this whole thing. How are you just going to be on a $10,000 bail? Whatever. I'm assuming if these people are, you suspect that they are being harmed and not there of their own free will, that they are probably underage or could be, right? Because I'm going to tell you something. It ain't like any, older women, let's say 50, 60, 70, even, well, maybe 40s, but, it's not like they're up there, they're not the high ticket item, in these things, right? No, it's always the young ones, the kids, the very young. Anyway, um, mm, let's see. What did I miss a troll? Oh, John Kerry. Well, look, I don't appreciate. I can't, from where I'm at, I can't ban people. But I want to tell you something. Don't talk about. You can talk about me all you want to, because I don't give a rat's hind end. But don't talk about my mods or my guests. I appreciate Samantha very much. Please ban him. Any of y'all, Linda K, Hiawatha, like a piece of human waste that wants to go talking about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I like that, Hiawatha. Don't be talking about my Samantha. That's right. Somebody ban him. Yeah, I missed that while I was reading. All right. I'm probably gonna stop right here. Again, I'm gonna there's so many things I want to cover. So much is on my mind, and I'm gonna be, just so you know, I haven't been here for a couple of weeks and doing a live, mostly because well, I worked a lot, but I played a lot too. And I think it was, I miss you all so much when I don't do lives. But I've had a lot of how do I say this? Aha moments in the last couple of weeks. And I feel like it's just something that God brought together. Um, some people from my real life, like the people that I see physically, brought a lot of clarity to some situations that I had online. And I just want to tell y'all, I know I've been ranting and I've been spicy and I've been kind of angry today when it comes to the church stuff because y'all know that riles me up. Um, I really feel like I got a lot of clarity in a situation that happened a while back, and I like when God is just protecting you, like He's just, and you don't even know why. I had a situation, it was a while back, that my gut was screaming one thing. Like it was just screaming, this is wrong. This is like my mind. My gut was screaming so loud that my brain was spinning. But in my trying to stop my brain from like receiving all these messages, I was like, no, this isn't true. Like I literally thought I am losing my mind. Like I've cracked up. I know this isn't true, even though my gut is screaming it's true. My brain is saying you are so wrong. And so I just I let it pass. And but it was a situation that bothered me because I'm like, I don't know. And out of nowhere, like literally out of nowhere, I had two different people, one in real life and then somebody that I know from, my online life. Um, both of them, boom, boom, said the same thing to me in about 3 or 4 days' time. And I want to tell y'all something because I've said it a lot. Always trust your gut. Always trust your gut. I'm like, man, it was absolutely divine providence, protection, and that I didn't get involved in a situation. Like, you just know. And I'm like, thank you that I did not um, continue in believing what my mind said was true, but my gut said wasn't. So there you go. And I've enjoyed it, y'all. I know I did a post. I went to a monster truck show. First time I've ever. I would never describe myself or even think about myself being a monster truck person until I went. And it was a very nice event. We got pit party tickets and then tickets to the actual event. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I loved it. I loved it. I looked out there and I thought the skill that it has to take. I mean, I know it looks like it's expected expected a different kind of crowd, and I'm not even going to say it, but when I realized the skill that was involved in doing what they do, I'm like, man, this really is a sport, and that is amazing that they can do this, and it was so much fun. Um, and then I have family days and stuff on the weekends that I'm off. Just want you to know, it's not that I don't love y'all. I've spent the last couple of years just really taking all my free time and pouring it into one of my channels, and I'm not stopping. It's just like I have to take that time with the people that I love who love me, and that I'm not going to get this time back. And it's been a beautiful, wonderful thing, hilarious. I wish I could bring y'all with me and listen to the craziness. Um, let's see. Uh, oh, you can't ban. Oh, what happened? You can't ban them. See, I guess I need to have. I can't because I'm like it appears that I am in YouTube, but I'm not. I am not actually on the YouTube screen. I need to pull up one of my other monitors. Probably, maybe I'll do that next time. And I have to be logged in to YouTube directly because this is like a bypass, and so I can't do anything unless I pick up my phone. And then I have to take time away from y'all. So I don't know what happened. Um, all right. Uh, yes, I had a good time. Look, I'm going to be going back to another monster truck show. There's some other stuff coming up. Just want to try new things, you know? The last new thing I tried was right before the monster truck show. I ate okay, look. I got issues. But I tried one raw oyster on a cracker. Um it wasn't as bad as I thought, but I would never order them. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. But I did it. It's like, you know what? I was today years old when I ate a raw oyster. So I know some. I have a good friend who loves them. I'm just like, nah, nah. Um, let's see. Samantha says you've got to go mudding at least once in your life. Brings out the yeehaw. I was supposed to go. I'm trying to think. I haven't been like deep mudding. Like I've been on ATVs and I've been like in different. I haven't been in what I would call what some people I know have like been in the deep mud and stuff. I honestly think I would enjoy it. No doubt. I would love getting I would probably love mudding. Yeah. Like sometimes you just gotta get all dirty and messy, have a good time. It's all right. It's all right. I think I would love it. I don't know anybody right now who goes mudding. I'm gonna go kayaking soon, but I mean, to me, that's not a huge deal. All right. Like I said, I am going to. I'm probably going to break up this video in several and for videos, but I'm trying to talk on Delphi. Either tonight or tomorrow night. Like I said, Prof and I are going to be looking at some stuff. I haven't seen Lowlight, so I'm going to reach out to him. I've got a lot of stuff that I've got to do for my Ghost channel and for Rumble. So, like, look, I don't know if you are on the replay or even if you're in here. I love coffee talks because I love to talk to you in the morning. Like, I get all of my stuff out for the day and I can relax. Tell me what subjects you want to talk about. A lot of things that is happening in the news I can't talk about here. I have to talk about on Rumble. But just let me know. Tell me what you want to see besides Delphi, because Delphi is always on the table when I have something to say. Very interesting things coming out. All right. I appreciate y'all for hanging with me. And I will see you soon, one place or another. I have started posting some stuff on TikTok, but I don't know how I feel about it for Silky Southern. I don't know. But I think I'm going to be the Silky Servile. Just hiss at people, right? Teacher does it. Why can't I? Right. I appreciate you all so, so very much. Stay safe out there. And whatever you do, just stay silky. And don't poop, next to your coworker's desk because that sucks. Bye.